Hey everybody, welcome to Saturday with Stephanie. We're continuing in the last section that we have to cover in the Lord's Prayer. We are in this particular edition of Luther's Small Catechism. We are on page 20. We're looking at the fourth petition of the Lord's Prayer. So take some time to review the last few videos if you need to get caught up. Because there's kind of an introductory section and a little bit of review for you. So make sure that you catch up before you watch this one. It's just easier to watch them straight through in order. But here is the fourth petition of the Lord's Prayer. Give us this day our daily bread, or a little bit more modern language, give us today our daily bread. What does this mean? God certainly gives daily bread to everyone without our prayers, even to all evil people. But we pray in this petition that God would lead us to realize this and to receive our daily bread with thanksgiving. What is meant by daily bread? Daily bread includes everything that has to do with the support and needs of the body, such as food, drink, clothing, shoes, house, home, land, animals, money, goods, a devout husband or wife, devout children, devout workers, devout and faithful rulers, good government, good weather, peace, health, self-control, good reputation, good friends, faithful neighbors, and the like. That's a lot packed into one tiny little phrase of give us this day our daily bread, and it goes into this whole long list. Now, if you've been watching with us this whole time throughout the catechism, or if you've spent time studying the catechism, Luther's Small Catechism, by the way, you might feel like this sounds a little bit familiar. If you go back just one section and you get into the first article of the Creed, remember the I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and we get into the what does this mean. He also gives me clothing and shoes, food and drink, house and home, wife and children, land, animals, and all that I have. So when we talk about this whole list of daily bread, we're talking about what we in the Lutheran Church will often refer to as first article gifts, as in the first article of the Creed. God the Creator, God the Father, Creator and Provider, provides all that we need to support this body and this life. So while it's not necessarily listed there, air, oxygen to breathe, water to drink is listed, all of those things. In a time when we're dealing with a pandemic, you can also think about the concept of relationship and community. That's sort of tied in there with the good friends, faithful neighbors, and the like. But anything that we need in this life, it's all wrapped up in this one section of daily bread. What do we need each and every single day? It harkens us back to the time of the Israelites wandering in the desert for 40 years. God provided them every single day with manna, with their daily bread, literal daily bread. And we know that He will provide everything that we need to support this body and life. Now for me, living in Texas, this is particularly hitting me after the events of about a week and a half ago, give or take, with the terrible winter storm that went through. The concept of daily bread, including electricity to run the heat in our homes. The concept of daily bread, including running water. Now, these are not given in the entire world, but we are also not equipped in our area to deal with the realities of not having electricity, not having running water. There are other places where these are not the norm, but they also have a lifestyle that accommodates the lack of those things. They have the ability to draw water from alternate sources. They have the ability to function without electricity in whatever ways they might need to. Heck, up north, they have the ability to withstand that kind of winter weather and sustained freezing temperatures. But houses down here aren't built for that. I've lived up north for most of my life until the last 10, 11 years. And I gotta tell you, I have never felt so cold as I did during that week of the cold snap here, because Every window in our house was letting the cold air in, despite the fact that we, in our own home, did not ever lose power or water, and I'm forever grateful for that fact. Many people around us did, and even with that, we were doing our part to preserve the amount of power available and turn down our thermostat. And I, honestly, even living up north where it was just plain cold all winter long, I don't remember ever feeling quite so cold. But again, our house wasn't insulated for it. I have gotten rid of most of my winter wardrobe clothing since living down here. Quite honestly, when we moved to Texas, I owned lots of sweaters and no shorts. And my wardrobe has since reversed. So that's just kind of the reality of where we live. But that idea of daily bread is every single thing we need. God provided for us even in the midst of that cold snap. We had the water we needed. We had the electricity we needed. Many people around us did not. There were a lot of losses, and it's really tough to reconcile those kinds of losses and need with reading about this, asking God for that daily bread. But we're also not promised that this life will be forever. And so that's kind of the tension that is within this request of God, that we know that He provides for our daily needs, and to remember to thank Him for those things. It's sometimes in the absence of them that I remember most to thank Him. I don't thank God for my general good health until I get sick. I don't thank Him for having plenty of food and water until I'm in a situation where I don't have access to those things. I don't thank Him for our electricity or the ease of transportation or having shelter until those things seem to be at risk. And I think sometimes that's a necessary part of our world to remind us how much we need God for everything. We tend to focus as Christians on the big picture salvation kinds of things. This is what we need God for, is for the end of our life, but we need God every single day. I want to tie into also our other book, the Building a Discipling Culture. This part of the hexagon, they describe in there as God's provision, which I think ties in so nicely to this concept of daily bread. God providing for us every single thing that we need. It's a strange world that we live in now, this idea of the things that we need. Over the past year, we have come to be much more cognizant of our need for toilet paper, for basic necessities at the grocery store. This has been a couple of times now that grocery store shelves in my area have been completely cleared out. The need for clean air to breathe. We've gotten very concerned about that, especially indoor air quality, both in terms of spread of illness and in terms of just the overall how well does it work for us. Gatherings are held more outdoors than ever in order to help with air quality and air movement. We've gotten much more aware of how well our homes provide shelter and respite and a place that's safe. We've become much more aware of those things, and I hope that we are learning to practice that gratitude for all that we have. I know I have learned a great deal in the last year about those things. So I invite you to take a few minutes today just to thank God for everything that He has provided for you. Maybe it's having that little bit of extra income to cover the bills that are coming in. Maybe it's simply that there's food on the table tonight for dinner, or that there's a friend nearby that you can call if you need something. Maybe it's just looking at the people in your lives and thanking God for their presence in it. Whatever it is that you need to be reminded of, this is your opportunity to take the time to give thanks and to ask God to bless them. I pray for you as well, that God will give you everything that you need this day to support your body, and your life. I know He will. He's faithful. Thanks for joining me tonight. The Lord's blessings on your evening, and we invite you back for worship at 9:30 and for the story Sunday school at 10:30 tomorrow. See you then. Bye.